I just got back from Disney and I had an interesting old fashioned. I went to Geo 82, so I'm going to try to replicate that now. Let's go. Welcome back to Old Fashioned Ways. I'm Doc Martinez, and today I'm going to be making a new old fashioned, or I'm going to replicate an old fashioned, I should say. I was at Disney last day there, got into Geo 82 at Epcot for the first time. Beautiful little bar. The facility is nice, lots of good options. I'll pop up some videos here just kind of showing like what was on their bar and all that. Maybe a picture of their menu as well. So they had little snacks there, some cocktails, some old fashioned, some flights. Had a little bit of here, this and that, right? Really good time. I really enjoyed it. I wish I'd had more time there, but somewhere I definitely want to go back to. But while there, I did have an old fashioned. It's called a brown butter old fashioned. I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought that I hadn't thought about kind of mixing that combination. So I said, why not give it a try? I did. I really liked it. So I said, I'm definitely going to get home and replicate this. So I wanted to do it now when it's still fresh in my head, fresh in my taste buds, so that I could try to replicate that and give that recipe to you guys as well. All right. So off their menu, it says they're using Woodford Double Oak. Yep, Woodford Double Oak. They're also using some brown butter simple, and that's what this is. And recipe for this will be in the description below. Also, they're using this particular Hella Mexican bitters and some maple syrup. So this will be made directly in the glass. I got a glass from them for this special occasion. They have really nice glasses. Look how nice that looks. So I figured, why not use it? Of course, I already have my clear ice in there. So we're gonna start off. I'm gonna move this to this side for a second here. And we're going to start off with the Hella bitters. So this is the Mexican Hella bitters. And we're going to do 2 dashes of this. Now, I think they use 2, maybe more dashes, because you could taste it in there. You could taste that little Mexican flavor that's added to this. Now, they use a simple syrup. Now, the recipe doesn't tell us how much we use, so I'm trying to replicate this. But I could taste this. This was very, very strong. This has a very unique and nice taste to it. It's very different. My wife actually helped make this, so I need to get the recipe from her, so I can put that in the description below so you guys can have this. But we're gonna start off with a 1/2 ounce of this. This drink was pretty sweet, so I'm pretty sure that they did use a whole 1/2 ounce of this, so I'm gonna do that as well. Now there's little chunks in here. Ooh, look how thick that is. It just covering that ice and kind of solidifying over that ice. That's kind of cool. I kind of like the way that looks. Let's see. Maybe you guys can see that in there. I don't know. Hopefully you can, but that was cool. That was cool. All right. Now they also add some maple syrup to it. I'm going to guess that the maple syrup wasn't very strong, so I'm going to say it's about a bar spoon. So we're going to do that. We're going to add about a bar spoon of maple syrup. I can always adjust this as I need, but let's just add a bar spoon. It is a sweet old fashioned, so just so you know, it is kind of sweet, but it was very different and very nice. I did like it. So we're going to add the 2 ounces of the Woodford Double Oak. It's interesting that they use this one because if you know me, this is actually, when I first started making old fashions, this is actually what I made them with. My favorite old fashions in the beginning were made with Woodford Double Oak. So let's stir this up a little bit. We're just going to stir this. Now, I used a square ice like they did. They had a nice, beautiful square ice in there. They had their little emblem into the ice. Well, they don't sell that, so I can't do that here. But it was a nice touch. The bar was very, very nice, very classy. Very nice setting, environment nice and relaxing. It was a perfect way to end a Disney trip. Look at all that from the congealing from that. Now my wife told me I should probably strain this, but I didn't want to. I wanted to keep those flavors in there. And so, yeah, if you don't like little chunks in yours, then I would suggest just filter this before you put it in here, and that would probably help with that. And I think they did that because I don't remember a whole bunch of chunks in mine. But let's go in for that taste. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That is the brown butter old fashioned, except this one's a little chunky. I don't mind the chunks. They just add more flavor to it. But definitely it's a different texture on the tongue that you might not like. I'm going to go back, filter this out, and then probably make another drink for later on tonight just to enjoy this again. But I'm going to enjoy this one too. Yeah, lots of flavors in that. Very good. I like it. It's sweeter than I normally like my old fashions, but it's a unique taste that's worth trying. So if you ever get out to a Disney and get to Epcot, try to get in there. You have to have a reservation again there. My wife did this reservation probably 69 days before, but it's a fun environment and lots of good pours. But if not, and you wanted to try to make it at home, you'll have the recipe to try to make this at home and replicate yourselves. Well, my friends, thank you for joining me on another journey down my old-fashioned rabbit hole. The funny thing is those little chunks made my lips like kind of buttery, so I'm kind of liking that. But to our next journey, my friends, cheers.